Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today's utensil. Finally, we come to the dominant English-speaking world eating utensil, plate. Chinese do use plate, even though it's secondary or tertiary. That we use bowl, rice bowl, particular first. We are bowl first culture, but we do have plate. And Chinese express plate quite interestingly. Um, like the one we've seen, or we have several that's related, or a pen. Okay, so anyways, I kind of forgetting. They all came with this utensil, generic categorical utensil, eating utensil particular, like a dining ware symbol here, which you can visualize as a tall glass. This is the glass with a tall stand, and you have your hands holding this thing like that. You have your thumb and the rest of the finger on each side, and that's expressed by the two strokes in there. So you're holding this thing. Suppose it is a drink, right? But they extend it into categorically anything that's on your contain your food on the table, food and drink on the table. So that's categorical. On the top, then that becomes the specific. What exactly the type of utensil that is. Over here, we have the boat symbol. So here you can visualize it as this is this bowl of the boat, and these are the seatings separated, like each of the seating in a boat. So this zhou can be a big boat or a small boat. And this, you can view it almost like a two-seater kayak image over there. But even if it starts from like a simple two-seater, we all know that Chinese, when we express two, it doesn't innocently or literally just means two of anything. It means repetition, multitudes of something. You cannot deduce by seeing, okay, there are two dots here, therefore it's a two-seater. No, it means multiple seater. So however, what's the scale, what's the size of the boat is undefined here. It's in its own sense a categorical of anything that's a boat, a floater on water. Now on the right side, three-finger hand symbol, first person perspective from the bottom of the screen. You can see this is your hand basically. And then this is a whip with supposedly a heavy tip in there that you can whipping out, hitting on your slave. So this E is Chinese character that's related to slavery. So I guess China back then have a long history of slavery. I mean, in America, people talk about a slavery. It's only a few hundred years, right? It's one continent ship over another continent's people enslaved on the third continent. Fascinating story. But that happens throughout the history. And in Chinese, this enslavery of your hand whipping the basic slave owner, or slave supervisor tool captured in there. And I guess in ancient times, slavery was common because you can capture your enemy, one tribe, another tribe, war, and the losing side would be the slaves. So quite common practice back then. So it made it into the language. So this slavery or slave supervision image, together with the boat, that means in ancient times, to move the big boat, you have to have people paddling at roughly the same time, right? I mean, I did outrigger canoeing for a little bit. The sinking, to be in sync is critical. So this, whipping thing, it's supposed to mean that somebody is supervising the movement of the boat to make sure everybody in sync, so that the boat as an ancient transportation, I'm sure it's kind of costly as well because it's man labor transportation can go as efficient as possible. So that's what ban, the top, is about. And so this boat, synchronized the boat movement paired with this categorical drinking, eating utensil became a plate. So that's like a go figure situation. The only theory I can come up with is the boat is kind of a floater, right, on the ocean or the river. And the plate serves as the floater, like a floating on top of your table, so that your food can float on top of your plate, so that you can dive in and attack your food. So that's Chinese plate. That's my best theory coming up. Okay, 接盘 means you can use it in the stock market, that you buy in some stock which is already overvalued, and so continuation, you buy at a high price, and you take over. 接 means you get it, you take it, and the 盘 in this case would be a particular security or stock. 楼盘 is building, because okay, the living conditions in China, especially in post-industrialized, globalized China, is people come from all over the countryside or whatever, get into the city. This urban living became the main theme song of the era. And so 楼盘, so you have to imagine high rises, many, I don't know, 30, 40 stories of high, tall buildings that stack up people. So it's kind of affordable living condition back then. Like apartment building is the norm. If you want a single family house, that's like a very distinct, very distant dream in China. That doesn't really happen. For majority of people, they stack up in this big, tall buildings. And for a developer, when they make plans of such community making, I hope it's community, but really it's just housing projects, they would buy a big piece of land, have multiple such buildings. So when they sell, they have volume of sales going on. So that's what 楼盘 is about. It's like a whole plate of buildings that's within your gated community mostly, tall rises, high rises over there. Okay, 罗盘 is a compass. In ancient times, in ocean, like navigation, 罗盘 is the compass used back then. And because it's a disc shape, because it's a direction, right? So it's O direction. So it's at least 8. If we separate it only into 8, then it's going to be 360 degrees. So it has to be a plate shape. That's why. 盘山, we talk about the windy road along the mountains as 盘山公路. So the road on the mountains would be 盘. It's almost like a serpent surrounding or wrapping itself around the mountains. We use that 盘 means circulating, spiraling around the mountains. And that's the expression we use to describe the type of road that's going around, serpentine around the mountains. So there we go. Plate, 盘. Thank you for your time. See you next time.